Houston already since 2019. At that time, me and Silky both started our house buying process. As you can see here in black and white, these are text messages between me and Silky talking about different houses that we've sent each other. Not just her. This is both of us sending houses. Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. So we're both on a house buying process. At that time, Silky was living in Gulfport with her parents, with her mom. I was already living in Houston. At the time that my lease was up, I was still in my house buying process because I had not paid my taxes from the first year of me being on Drag Race because I did not know how to file my taxes at the time. And being that the time had passed, I couldn't electronically do my taxes for those back taxes. I had to mail them in, which now put me back further. What? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. Which put me back further with the whole house buying process. At the time that my lease was up in my apartment, I was going to Silky had got ready to close on her house, which I went to her house, closing process and everything. Congratulations. I was going to move back to Dallas with my mom, where I'm originally from, where her door is always open. Silky moved 45 minutes outside of Houston, Texas. At that time, she said, "Girl, yeah, how do I turn these comments off? 'Cause we're not gonna do that." How do I turn the comments off? There we go. Boom. No comments. Okay. Anyway, at that time, I was going to move back to Dallas with my mom. Silky said, "Well, girl, I just moved this my house. I'm going to be over there lonely. I'm already going to be touring and this, that, and the third. Why don't you come move over here with me?" She would come to my house already. I would go to, when she would come to town, all of that. Nothing to lie about. It is what it is. Okay, boom. I got my stuff. I put most of my things in storage. I took some things to Stiff House, which is my two TVs, some other stuff, like miscellaneous drag stuff, and I moved to Silky's house. At the time of me moving to Silky's house, I asked Silky at that time, "How much would you like for me to pay in rent?" Got that right here too. 1 second, baby girl. Silky told me $500 a month. I said, "That's it." She said, "Yes, because I can take care of everything else." Okay, cool. So I move in with Silky. I'm paying rent. Boom. Time has passed. Everything's fine. We go out to eat. We're normal, like we've been doing. I'm on the second floor. Silky's on the bottom floor. Everything is copacetic, at least to my knowledge. Move for a little bit. Okay. Everybody knows I have silicone. That's no secret. It's never been a secret. I was on my silicone removal journey. Now I don't know if anybody's familiar with silicone removal, but it's way more expensive to get silicone removal than it is to get silicone injections. Okay, yes. I had to borrow some money at the time from Silky because the silicone removal was extremely expensive. So cool. I'm thinking, okay, well, this is my homegirl. I'm not thinking anything of it. She told me yes. I borrowed the money. I had been paying Silky off as I'm paying the rent there. No tea. Again, we're still living together. Everything is still fine. Nothing's happening. Silky got ready for her preliminary for Continental. She was like, "Well, girl, how about you backstage me for my preliminary?" Which, if you think I'm lying, you can go to her page. There's a pink bathing suit I posted also on my page where I backstaged her. I made the pink bathing suit. Again, I'm not asking Silky for any money at this time because, again, this is my friend. She said, "Well, girl, just take some from the what you owe me." Cool. Okay, more time has passed. While I'm there, me and Silky really don't eat the same type of food, number one. So it was not like I was eating groceries. Um, we don't really like the same type of boys, which is so funny why she came for Bob and that whole Oreo thing because you know you like the same thing, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, fast forward, boom. So I'm still staying there. I do Silky for Continental. Now, when I did Silky for Continental, Continental is 3 days. I made Silky swimsuit for Continental. I also backstage her all of the 3 of those days. And then I traveled with her to do her. I didn't ask for any money. I had already been paying Silky off. She said, girl, just take some more. Boom, boom, boom. Fine. Okay, fast forward. Where is it at? I just had it. Silky goes out of town on tour. This is when things started getting tricky. When she goes out of town on tour, all of a sudden the water, I mean not the water, the gas is off in the house and the microwave isn't working. So at this time, I'm taking cold showers in the house. I'm not able to use the stove. One second, let me grab those receipts because I text Silky. If I'm so broke, how did I text Silky and ask, can I help pay for the gas? Something's going on with the gas. What's happening here? Hold on one second. Let me show you that. I should have these in order, baby. Hold on, y'all. Because I printed everything out. Because I have nothing to hide. I have no reason to lie. None of that. And while I'm looking for that, the reason I do Mistress shows because for me, I wanted to tell my truth on my end. I didn't want it to be a big messy blow up. I didn't want it to be a big messy situation. I'm already knowing that Silky and Mistress are friends. Yes, me and Mistress are cousins, but I know they share a friendship. So I felt like the video was gonna be one-sided. And again, the goal was to tell my truth. It wasn't even to bash Silky at this point. Because I want the situation to be dead. Our friendship is dead. The relationship has been dead. And the crazy part about it is, hold on, I don't want to go too far. Hold on. That's that part. Okay, here it is right here. Boom. I said, I don't think the gas is working. You can see that in black and white, right? OMG. I turned it on, don't smell anything. I then asked her, she said, let me make sure I paid the bill. I said, well, do you need me to pay it or anything? She said, 1 second. Nothing ever happened. Y'all see it in black and white right here, right? So again, at this time, I'm thinking that my friend or my best friend at the time would turn the gas and the heat off on me knowing I'm there. Okay, Silky comes back to the house. Cool. Before Silky comes back though, Silky texts me. It's 4:41 in the morning, right there. If you could see, 4:41 in the morning. But let's back up though. When I did Silky for Continental, I had asked Silky. I said, "Hey, I'm just letting you know we need to have a talk about the whole living arrangement." I said because I don't want you to feel. I know you offered me to stay here, but I don't want you to think that I'm trying to move in on you. She said out of her own mouth, and I have it in black and white here. Let's chat when we get back to Houston. This is right before she leaves for tour. This is right as she's doing Continental. 1 second, let me grab those. One second, let me grab those, baby. Right here. And I told her at the time, what did it say? Thank you so much. Does that not say thank you so much? I read it verbatim. Thank you so much for everything. I'm just tired mentally and physically. Not trying to push my energy off on you. Sorry. if that's how it comes off. I just want to let you know that I'm not trying to stay off on you or be a burden on you. Thank you for opening your doors. I said, I love you. I just want to say, let's go get that crown. She said, chat when we get back to Houston. Is that not what that says? Boom. Okay. We get back to Houston. We on our usual, ordering food, going out to eat. And see how we got the name to each other, Silk Sugar Mama, was because when me and Silky would go places, if Silky paid one time, I would pay the next time. So that whole narrative of me being a bum or her taking care of me, that's how we got the name Sugar Mama. Anybody who's been around us or anybody who's been around me knows, bitch, I have no issue with paying. Prior to this, bitch, I was a hustler. I've always had a job. Okay, so then she texted me at 4:41. She's out of town at this point. She said, I'm about to board my flight. She said, you might be asleep. I know you've been looking for a place. Let me know when you plan to leave for sure. I just got the layout for the new studio, which I'm going to turn that room that you're in into. I'm hoping to start mid-May before Pride. I said, okay, I'll be out. I said, as a matter of fact, I'll start moving my stuff out tomorrow. It says it right there, does it not? She says, you still up? Okay. I get everything they recommended first. I picked her from the airport. This is where I picked her from the airport. This is where I paid rent. As you can see, that's the Apple Pay, baby. That's where I paid rent. So at that point, I started moving my stuff out. Silky texted me she said, because I'm going to turn that room, and she said, and the cleaners are going to come Monday. This is April 22nd. If you go back to April 22nd, that was a Sunday morning at 4:41. She texted me that Sunday morning. I still picked her up from the airport as if nothing had happened. She didn't say too many words to me at that time. Nothing whatsoever. Have the stuff is getting delivered Wednesday, but the house cleaning is coming Monday. So if we're friends and I had already come to you prior to weeks before you even left, saying, hey, I'm planning to move. We need to talk about this whole situation because I didn't want it to seem like I just up and left. If I had already texted you that in black and white, at that time, if you had planned on turning my room that I was in into a studio, as a friend, would you or would you not say at that time, well, I'm planning to have the stuff delivered this date, I'm going to do this, that, and third. Now, granted, yes, it's very true. That's her house. She can do whatever she wants to do with it. But out of common courtesy is what I'm saying. You would think that as a friend, you would tell them weeks in advance versus saying, oh, well, it's getting delivered Monday. At that point, you have already made up in your mind that you want them gone. But we had already talked about it. If we're friends, you could have said it. I had never had intentions on staying. I could show you my whole process of me trying to buy a house. I was trying to, and anybody knows how buying a house, that's no easy process. Especially when you have to make sure your taxes and stuff is lined up, all of that. I can literally go to my email right now and show you everything. That's the only reason the process took as long as it did. When I saw the process was taking longer than expected, I said, fuck it, I'll just find an apartment and move into an apartment. But by that time, Silky had did what she did as far as the whole moving situation. Okay, boom, I got my stuff. She left that day as I was moving my stuff. She went to a graduation party, as you can see here. She asked, did I want to go to the graduation party? No, I did not want to go to a graduation party because, again, in my mind, I'm trying to process everything that's going on. Number one, I'm not in the correct headspace to go to a graduation party. I don't even know the people that's having the graduation party. None of that. So, boom, I didn't go to the graduation party. She said, I got tacos. I said, hey, even with everything, what did I say? Hey, hold on, let me go back for one. I asked her, I said, hey, I moved everything out. I said, do you mind? I said, but the storage closes at 9. I said, do you mind if I take one more load tonight? I'm going to stay and clean that room. Is that not what it says? Clean that room. Do you mind if I stay one more night? She said, girl, come on. You know you can. I don't have to lie about anything, baby. Everything is here in black and white. I didn't mistreat Silky. I didn't do Silky wrong. I was over there suffering with cold water to the point where my niece, Michaela, asked me to come, told me to come to her house, which I have in the Texas right here. This is Michaela. Right here, baby. She told me to come to her house. She was like, girl, why would you be over there suffering in cold water if you're paying rent? Cool. Again, in my mind, I'm thinking the shit just fucked up. It's just broke. It is what it is. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to suffer through it, bitch. I suffered through worse. Cool. So then I asked her, I said, honestly, I did not know that if I could stay another night. I said, but do you want food? This is me still trying to be a friend with Silky, even in the midst of everything. So again, how did I wrong her? She said she went to the graduation party. They stopped and got tacos. I said, oh. She said, yes, I'm headed back now. I said, okay, I'm grabbing food. And again, going to clean. I never left anything dirty when I left, baby. One thing Mama raised me to do is to clean up. Going to clean, and I want to make sure and see if y'all ate. Okay, boom. I leave. So boom, once I leave, I tell Silky thank you. I sent Silky her last $500. She didn't respond to me, which is what she asked me for rent. In that time, I had already mowed the yard. I did all of those things to pull my weight around the house outside of that. So boom. Fast forward, May 13th. Now, mind y'all, this is the last rent payment, May 6th. May 13th, I asked her, because again, I'm not thinking it's any beef. It's not, it is what it is. She wanted her space. She's turned to a studio. I'm not thinking it's a beef. So I text her. I said, hey, are you booked June 22nd? This is me as a friend. I had somebody offer me a booking. They said, who would you like to bring? I said, Silky. I offered her a booking. It's right here in black and white, baby. If I was upset and I had mistreated her, why would I come back to offer her a booking? Make it make sense. So she said, I said, I have a gig for us. It's $5K. She said, where at? She said, I got to get the approval. I said, it's in North Carolina. She said, okay, give me the details and I can work that out. Nothing ever happened. Fast forward, May 22nd, Silky got ready to do a pageant. Now, mind you, we haven't spoke since then because it's now in a very awkward space for whatever reason. I've now moved. She has her rent. Yes, I did ask her, can I leave those 2 TVs there along with a few other items? Because at that time, I didn't want to break the TVs. I can have that in black and white also. She got ready to do her pageant. Good luck, Mary. Good luck, Mary. Why am I still texting her good luck, Mary, as if we're still friends? If I had already made it a thing of us not being friends. What does this say? Thank you, Mary, and clear as day. Okay, boom. Fast forward. Time has passed. We're not speaking. Some months passed. I reached out to Silky. Hold on. I'm gonna get it. Let me get it, bitch. Because I reached out to Silky. Once again. Oh, right here, boom. This is now August. This is how long it's been since we talked. This is now August. Because at this point, I'm now focused on this whole house buying process, all of that. Hey, hope all is well. I'm not sure what or why our friendship died off. But if you're up to it, I would like to talk whenever and figure out what it was and even discuss for clarifications so that things don't remain in an awkward space. Again, if I did this lady wrong, why am I reaching out to get clarification or understanding? I had let the whole apartment thing go. I mean, the whole house thing go. That's done. I moved. She got her rent. Cool. I text her August 15th. She texted me back August 17th. And she said, hey, Mary, I don't know how I missed this message. Let's chat. I'm on a flight right now. I said, KK. Okay, boom. In September, I asked her, hey, good morning, because we still have not met up. None of that. So then September comes, but let's stop there. Let's make sure that I'm not jumping ahead of when this next situation happened. 1 second. Where is the Clark sisters? Because we used to have a group called the Clark sisters, which was me, Silky, and our mutual friend, Michaela. Hold on 1 second. What I do with them papers? I just got them. I just take them down papers out.
Graduations, weddings, cookouts, get-togethers, family reunions, funerals, whatever you need.
But anyway, okay, boom, I'll find them in a minute. So September 27th, I reached out to Silky. I said, hey, good morning. Will you be at home? I want to come and get the rest of that stuff and those TVs. If not that day, just let me know when you will be. She said, hey, I'll be at home. Let me know when you're on the way. I couldn't go get the TVs that day is because I had to end up going out of town for a booking. I didn't get a chance to go get the TVs. Okay, cool. I apologize for not going to get my TVs. I even texted her and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. It was an apology. Rightfully so. If at that time she wanted to charge me anything for the TVs, I would have had no choice but to accept that. But again, you have acknowledged that the TVs are still there. Cool. We fast forward. So, me and Silky is now on a whole thing of, I'm at the club one night. I'm already hearing stories. Now, mind you, over this time, I have yet to make it a public thing that me and Silky are into it. Because again, in my mind, we are in a rough road, but we're going to come back to being friends. So I'm not bashing her. I didn't say anything negative about her. So those tweets that y'all saw was literally after I had been getting my name drugged by Silky through friends and family that she's told different stories to about why she put me out. One excuse was some boy stopped her in the club and saw some dishes of hers. And I'm like, well, that makes absolutely no sense because even if I brought a boy to your house out of respect, when I was dating my boyfriend at the time and he wanted to come by, I have a text message that shows in black and white right here, hey, do you mind if he comes over? She knew exactly who the boy was because she said, I like him for you. She said, yes, he can come by. So as far as this mysterious boy, she knew exactly who he was. There was never a secret. Okay, cool. I'm already gone. It is what it is. She's telling people stuff. So then I'm in a club one night, me and Michaela and her new friend Alexis. Her new friend Alexis then stops me. She has never met me before. She says, hey, Akeria, oh my God. I can't see none of the comments, so I don't know what's being said. I don't really give a damn, honestly, what's being said, bitch. Like I said, I'm telling my truth. But I'm getting text messages, so that's why I'm trying to see what was going on. But anyway, the girl stops me in the club. She says, oh my God. She said, I've heard so much about you, Akeria. She said, I really hate that you and Silky are dealing with what y'all are dealing with. If you want to, I can mediate. In me and Silky's friendship. Not now, bitch, on this earth can say X, Y, and Z when it comes to the things that me and Silky went through. So no, to some new bitch who has heard one side, you can't mediate shit because, bitch, number one, I don't know you. So at that time, it got back to Silky through Michaela that it was said to me. So then Silky texts in our group, 1 second. And this was her response. What I did with that paper?
Honestly, though, if for anybody looking for like really rare stripes, I think the best case scenario is eliminating
Hold on, bitch, I just had it.
in their possession, on their body. I think pulling one of these rare stripes is going to be like popping out.
Where is this damn paper at? Hold on, y'all. Okay, here it is, right here. Clark sisters. Clark sisters.
Having seen today all firepower. Yes. Yeah, but you can see that these Spanish teams, they know how to keep the ball. They know how to play today. It doesn't matter how much you press them.
Now you got my
I'm looking for this first page. Hold on, I got it. Anyway, this is her. This is the Clark Sisters group. She came and she apologized then. She said, I don't know what took place. She said, I don't know how she got the insinuation that I was talking about. She said, I've never talked about you negatively. She said, I'll be back from Mississippi. She said, I'm in Mississippi now. I'll be back soon. I said, hey, I love you also. I was definitely taken back by all that she said last night, especially being that I've never laid eyes on her. This is my response right here. This is in the group. I've never laid eyes on her before, but this can also be briefly discussed at the time we have our sit down. Let me know when you are back and when you're ready to talk. She said, okay. Then she said about her friend, I'm convinced after talking to Michaela, she had too many bumps that night. I said, I'm not sure either. I said, but I'm definitely sure that she don't know me enough to want to mediate or anything or assert herself in nothing. Boom. Me and Silky are back talking as if we're friends. Now, mind you, no animosity. This is after I've moved. We still have not talked about what took place as far as the whole move situation. I have not brought about the whole heater thing because, again, in my mind, I'm not thinking my friend did that to me. She turned the shit off, whatever. Cool. Still talking in the group. Fine. Perfectly fine. Also, what does it say when she said I talked about her negatively about her weight loss journey? Heard you got fine. What does it say? Heard you got fine. Like me. Congrats. Praying for you. Praying for a speedy recovery. So how did I bash this lady? When did I do her wrong? Somebody please explain what I did wrong. So not only have I got out of her house, I pay her all of her rent. I've left things where they were. I've even tried to reach out on numerous occasions to try to have a sit down and talk, which never took place. Now, the one mistake I can say I made was still having my stuff over there at that time while I was dealing with my home buying process. Yes, it is what it is. Life happens, bitch. Oh well. But again, I'm not thinking that it's an issue because now I'm thinking we're slowly progressing our way back to being friends. Not only that, Silky invites me to her house for dinner. But prior to that, I text her about the money that I owe her. Hey, I'm going through our transaction history now trying to see if you have the exact amount that I owe you because I want to make sure after everything, the patches and stuff, that I pay you and I take care of that. She said, hey, let me check. I'm leaving the gym. It's right here in black and white. So I never tried to run off on any money. This is me reaching out to her right here in black and white. I never tried to run out on no money, baby. Never. It's all right here in black and white. She told me the amount. I said, okay. Boom. Where's the receipt? Hold on 1 second. Let me get you that. What does it say? Right here in black and white. Payment sent. Zelle. Payment sent. Is that not the full payment? Right there? So if I tried to run out on some money, how did I end up paying her, baby girl? How did I end up paying her? Okay, boom. Silky was dating this guy named, I don't care to mention his name. She was dating this guy. She was trying to get back with him. So at that time, she asked me to send him a voice memo, basically to convince the boy. Again, willing to do it because I guess this is our weird way of becoming friends again. We're talking. As you can see here, the text has now started back. Things are fine. All of that. So, again, me and Silky has yet to have a sit-down talk about anything or any animosity, but we're slowly starting back to text. Hey, sister, we talked. Can you send Shane a happy birthday thing? It's right here. I said, you want me in drag? I was going to get in drag for it. That's what she wanted. Boom. Hold on. But to make a long story short, so we're back basically weeding our way to being friends or whatever the case may be. She's invited me over to her house. I couldn't make it. And I also wasn't going to make it because in my mind, everybody knows me and Silky's dynamic. Everybody knows how me and Silky interact. Me and Silky has yet to have a conversation since the day I left her house about what took place, and because I'm hearing all of the different stories as to why she put me out, right? But she's never once said to me why she put me out. So, inviting me to your house after hearing all of these things, what am I supposed to say or how am I supposed to act at your house in front of other people if me and you have not came to a clear understanding of where we stand as friends? What sense would that make? Okay, cool. We getting ready to film for Drag Race. Of course, you already know the girls find out who's on the show. Silky then reaches out to Michaela once again and asks, hey, I want to talk to Akeria. Michaela's response was, well, girl, why do you want to talk to Akeria now when she's been trying to reach out and you have basically paid the situation? Are you trying to check her temperature or see if she's going to take the drama to the show? I never had any intentions on taking the drama to the show because, again, in my mind, bitch, we're not fine, but we're not beefing, which is why I never said anything about her. I never went public. I never once told anybody. Now, mind you, this is months that has passed. I've yet to say anything negatively about Silky, but because, again, this is my friend. We're in a rough patch. We're going to get back to where we used to be. Cool. So then we go film. I go film first, of course. I make it through the merge. I never mentioned the lady's name. Never once mentioned the name. When I come home from the merge, after she comes home from the merge, I reach out to her. For some reason, all of a sudden, things have now changed as far as the dynamic of the two of us. At first, she was at least responding to text messages or texting me back and stuff like that. Now I'm getting the complete cold shoulder. This is the time where I'm trying to get the stuff, all of that, to just, if this is what it's going to be, let's just go ahead and cut ties because I'm tired of the emotional roller coaster of if we're going to be friends, if we're not going to be friends. I reach out. She don't respond. I reach out again. She don't respond. I said, hey, I'm not sure what's going on or the reason I'm being ignored. I said, but this is my third time texting you as well as on socials, but I'm simply just trying to get my things. If it's that you don't want me at your house, I could send our mutual friend at the time to get it. Whatever is best to get the stuff. She then responds back, hey girl, I literally been at boot camp. I need a couple of days to myself. Your stuff has been here since you made the arrangements and didn't get it. I don't understand why it's so urgent now for you to receive your things. Okay, cool. It's all here in black and white. I go to get my stuff. At this point, I now know our friendship is done. I go to get the stuff. Michaela texts me on my way to get the stuff. Michaela has some stuff at her house too. She says, hey, you still at Silky's? It's right here. Hey, you still at Silky's? Can you get my hair and pads? Me being the type of person I am, trying to avoid conflict, I text her back and said, call her and tell her to put my stuff with you, put your stuff with mine, because I'm trying to have less conversation as possible. Because I didn't want to have a fallout with her because, again, I'm now not knowing where the fuck we stand, because at one point we were just telling each other happy birthday and talking about how we're going to go be fine together for the summer, which I have literally right here. So now you're not speaking to me and we back at this weird place. Okay, cool. It is what it is. We're no longer friends. When I go to get my TV, she gives me one of my television. She then tells me that I didn't have two TVs there. Okay, Silky, if you're going to go with that narrative that I didn't have two TVs there, how is it that you text me this? If I didn't have a TV there and you told me that I don't have two TVs there, why did you tell me this right here? Where is it at? I do the paper. Did it fall? Hold on, bitch. I got so many damn papers. Oh, here it is. It's under this damn thing. Okay, boom. Y'all feel, hold on. So if she didn't have knowledge of my TV, she texts right here and said, I'm waiting on Jayla to call me back. She was with me. She said, I'm making sure she didn't put it in a place I wouldn't know, but I have no reason to lie and keep your stuff. I have 3 mounted TVs, which she did have 3 mounted TVs. I'm in disbelief that y'all would think, because at this time, Michaela is now telling her that the TVs was there, because Michaela is one of our mutual friends who had been to the house before. Deshaun is also a mutual friend who has been in the house before. So if there was no TV, how are you having to call somebody to see if the TV was moved if there was never a TV there? That's my thing. Cool. So at that time, I was like, fuck it. I just want my stuff. Like, literally, I just want my stuff. I didn't want to cause no issues with Silky, but at that time, I was frustrated because I had been quiet for over all of this time about our situation, what we had been going through, because again, in some strange reason in my mind, we're going to be back friends. We were on this retarded roller coaster of we'll text 1 minute and we're good, with like we was mending things, then the next minute we're not friends no more, then all of a sudden this now situation. So with the whole stolen TV thing, that's what I mean when I was at Roscoe's and I said that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because at that time, bitch, I had been quiet. I had been hearing stories. I had been hearing you lying about all kind of stuff. You had just went to Roscoe's and told people that I was homeless. Y'all can clearly see that I'm not homeless by far. I've never been homeless. As long as my mom has breath in her body, I always can go back there. That's where I was initially going in the first place. Silky asked me to come over there. Silky asked me to come there. Okay, boom. So as far as the whole court thing, I was frustrated, and I'm not gonna lie, I was going to react out of anger at first. My mom told me, no, Pooh, don't do that X, Y, and Z. Cool. Let me just do what I need to do, file a court thing. I filed the court thing. That was before I moved into this place. So anybody know with the court, anytime you file a suit, it takes time. It has to process through the system. At that time, I had just moved into this place here. So the paperwork had went to my old apartment. So that's how I missed the court date, because I never got it because the time had passed. She was already in her house, so it was going to automatically go to her house. Yes, I did send a suit because I couldn't do anything else to her. She had already offered me another TV. So why are you saying that you didn't know that a TV was there, but then you say you have to check with somebody as one excuse, then the next excuse you tell somebody, well, I'll give you this other TV, which I also have in black and white. And I'm like, well, no, that's not my TV. How are you going to offer me another TV, a smaller TV, that's not even the size of my TV? It was never mainly about the TV. It was about the bullshit that I had been dealing with prior to the TV thing. So yes, I did sue her about a damn TV. Sure did. I was frustrated. And so how I attacked was when I made those tweets and lashed out on social media. Yes, that possibly was childish for me. But bitch, out of anger, I reacted. Sure did. But that whole narrative that's where all of this spun from, no. As you can see through all of this took place prior to me going on Twitter and taking it to social media. That came after. So I knew then, yes, we're done. Our friendship is done. It is what it is. Boom. We don't see each other. We make it to the merge. When I come into the merge, I don't come in even thinking about the bullshit no more. That's why when Jasmine first approached me on it, I wasn't thinking about that. Because again, she was dead to me. Our friendship was dead. It was over. It is what it is. I was perfectly fine. She brought that to the television. So at that point, yes. When I said fuck her, I wasn't crashing out. Bitch, anybody who knows me know I naturally talk fast. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. Bitch, I was just saying what I felt. I felt like in this situation, she was fake. From the things you did to me, I guess, to get me out your house without not saying it, that was fake. For you to go to everybody with all these different excuses as to why you put me out and you've yet to come to me, that was fake. If I tried to mend a friendship, at any of those times that I reached out to say, hey, let's sit down, if our friendship was that valuable to you, regardless had I slept with your man, fucked your uncle, whatever that stole money from you, which none of those things I've ever did, as a friend, wouldn't you think the person would come to you and say, well, bitch, this is why we are here, right or wrong? Nothing was ever said to me. Even when we got to the workroom, everybody knows from watching Drag Race, bitch, the workroom ain't no bigger than this. So again, even if it had to be off of camera, I'm thinking, bitch, if you somebody to call me as a friend and you wanted to fix the situation, you would say, hey girl, X, Y, and Z, boom, 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 boom. So this whole narrative that I talked about your weight loss journey, you see in black and white that I congratulated you on more than one occasion, on 2 occasions. This whole house thing, I went with you to close on it. I was happy for you. We started the journey together. You just finished. I didn't. And I'm okay with that. Everything is not for everybody. The money that I owed you and I borrowed for you because I needed silicone removal, thank you. Told you thank you for that. Paid you that money back. So again, if you had that much of issue with me, what's so hard about coming to me? Why did it even have to be this type of thing right here? You made this a thing. I didn't. Yes, I made those comments, but that was after all of this had transpired. So yes, you're no longer my friend, so bitch, I sent you a lawsuit. Okay? At that time, as you can see, have a brand new TV. I wasn't tripping when I found out that she made it to court and I didn't. Okay, whoop-de-doo. It is what it is. But again, as far as this still going on, that's the thing. Why is this still going on? As far as me posting on Twitter, that's because, again, we're in the workroom when you could have said stuff to me, but you wait to go to those cameras and say stuff. I didn't. I wasn't trying to make a thing. Because for some sick, strange reason, we're going to get past this and be back friends. That's like a woman who leaves her man and dogs him out and then they're back together months later. I didn't want this to look like that for us. I didn't. So that's why I never took it to social media prior to that. That's why I never did any of those things prior to that. But at that point that we made it to TV, I saw that this was the game that she wanted to play. She wants to spin the narrative like she's the victim. Yes, we've helped each other a lot along the way. But as far as the allegations of me being a bum, that's never been a thing. Allegations of me being on drugs, that's never been a thing. I've never been jealous of her. Because quiet as it's kept, those looks that y'all saw at Continental, that makeup and stuff that y'all saw at Continental, that was all my doing. I never asked for credit for any of that. Because again, when I even went to her about that, I went to her as a friend saying, I know this is your dream. Can I at least put my spin on it to give you some type of revamp so that you can appear a different way? Even when we went to Drag Race the first time, All Stars, I wasn't originally going to go to All Stars 6 at first. Silky called me and said she was going. And if you think I'm lying, the first thing I said to her out of my mouth was, hey, bitch. I said, let me tell you, you already know the first things before we even get our runway stuff, you need to start getting stockings, pads, and girdles. I said, because that's the first thing they read you about. If God is my witness, he can take my breath right now. I've never did anything but look out for Silky. I've never did anything malicious to her. That's why the shit hurt. And anytime I used to talk about it, I would almost cry. Because again, I still to this day don't know how we got to this place. I don't know how we got here. And she's yet to face me to tell me how we've got here. She's went on interviews. She went to Roscoe's and told them one thing. She went and told, and if you think I'm lying, Akeria Davenport is my witness. I literally just got called in a room by one of the girls when we was at Roscoe's. And the girl stopped me and said, well, Silky came here and she was saying this, that, and the third, dogging you out, boom, 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 boom. Cool, it's expected. But at some point, when do you allow it to die? When do you dead the shit? If we're done and we've cut ties, why? And you're not going to face me about what it is that I did that put us in this place? Why we just won't cut ties, baby girl? Because that whole narrative of me talking about your weight loss, that came after. So the problem was prior to that. It was prior to that you had with me. Hold on. It's not letting me. Hold on, I'm trying to verify, y'all. Hold on. So, as far as me owing her an apology, for what? Because when I left her house, I told her thank you. When I paid her rent, I told her thank you. On numerous occasions that I showed y'all, I told her thank you. At Continental, I told her thank you. So it's never been a using thing. Never. The price that I paid for rent is what she fucking asked me to pay. That's what she asked me to pay. Silky keeps a persona that she tries to hide behind. Yes, the bitch is very great with her words, so it's easy for her to sell bullshit and it's easy for her to have that victim mentality. But baby girl, the fact of the matter is you're not the victim. The situation that we are in, you created it. It was just easy for you to spin that narrative of that I read you on social media because again, that made the public's eye. The stuff that you was doing backhanded and under the rug and stuff didn't make the public eye. Of course. But to those people that do know us, and if you think I'm lying, it's so many girls I could name that if I wanted to put it in this, I could name them where you have went and you dogged me out. And that's my thing. You've yet to come to me. So when Mistress came to me about the offer to do Mistress Mondays, she called me and she said, girl, let's do Mistress Mondays. I want to do it to where Silky's on one side telling her story and you're on the other side telling your story. I told her no because, yeah, my lip is chapped, bitch. Where's my lip gloss? Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, let me get that together. Boop. Okay. Now, the reason I decline Mistress Mondays is because, let's call a spade a spade. Mistress is very messy. Mistress, yes, we are cousins. Mistress' whole image and her Patreon and all that is built around mess. I wanted to dead the mess. So going on Mistress Mondays, especially being that they're friends, that was going to be chopped and screwed and edited how they wanted it to be, to look however they wanted to look. When I went live, I wanted to tell all of my truths in black and white and just be dead with the situation like Silky is to me and like our friendship is. And I also didn't want to go live until after the season finished airing because, again, I did not want this to be a TV thing as far as for the show. This was my real fucking friend, bitch. This was bigger than a TV show. So, of course, I didn't want this to be like, oh, this drama is just because it's for television. It was not for television, bitch. These were two friends that came to this situation that has nothing to do with America, bitch. So I wasn't going to go live until after this season aired and talk about all of this. And I was going to make it a one-time thing, telling my side of the story, not bashing her, not saying anything negative about her, other than this is the shit that she did to me, or not even that she did to me. This is the shit that happened. Because I can't say that Silky turned the hot water off and left me taking cold showers for a full month. Now, it doesn't add up that when she came home, it was automatically back on. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. If that's what she did out of spite at that time, baby, one thing I'm a firm believer in is karma. And every dog has their day. So if she did that allegedly, she'll get hers. She will get hers. So I didn't make that a thing. But there's plenty of times that I reached out to this lady over and over and over and over. What they did not air is me crying in my confessionals because I kept getting asked about why we're not friends, why we're not friends, why we're not friends, why we're not friends. And I kept avoiding the situation, number one, because again, like I said, our friendship was way deeper than a television show. That was number one. The second reason why I never wanted to speak on it on TV, because what the fuck was I going to tell them? This lady has yet to come to me to tell me what her issue is with me. So what am I going to tell the world? I'm not going to make something up. Because even after all of this stuff with the TV and all of that, I still felt like she didn't deserve me talking bad on her name. I didn't. That's why I ranked her fairly in the game. Because, bitch, I've always did what I needed to do to look out for her. When we were on All-Star 6, let's be very clear, and this could possibly get me in trouble. I knew Silky was in the game within the game. I knew that I was going to have to go up against her. And she's on my live, and if I'm lying, she can tell me I'm lying. When I declined the offer to do the game within the game, it was not only because of my reasons that I talked about on TV, but the main reason was because if I could not be in the competition and make it that far, allow my bitch to win. That's how I felt about the situation. And also, I'll do you one even better. When I left, I called her phone. This is how I got confirmation that she was still there, bitch. I called her phone. And when I called her phone, she didn't answer. I knew then she was still in the game within the game. And God is my witness. He can strike me and take my last breath now. And she's on this live. She can tell you that I'm lying. I said, bitch, do what you got to do and bring it home for us. That's why I didn't do the game within the game. I wasn't going to go on national TV and lip sync against my motherfucking best friend. Because, bitch, if I'm not in the competition, she likes to do that shit. I know Silky is great with her antics, bitch. So I knew if nobody else could do what they needed to do in that lip sync smackdown, bitch, she could do it for us. Now tell me I'm lying. So our friendship, even on All-Star 6, when we had to eliminate each other, I went to this bitch and told her, I said, hey, they keep asking me about our friendship and if this show can break our friendship. I said, I'm telling you now that if there's ever a time that you need to put me in the bottom, put me in the bottom, because I want you to still have a fair chance of actually winning this shit if I get voted out. Because if you vote against the grain with these girls trying to vote me out of here, this was All-Star 6 I'm speaking of. If you go against the grain, I said they're going to come for you next, and I want you to have a fair opportunity here. I said, bitch, we worked too hard on getting your package together. Now, granted, I'm not trying to take no credit for that. This was just advice that I gave her that I heard the world saying about her as a friend. So those corsets and stuff, yes, I stayed on her ass about those things. Sure did. Because y'all stayed on her ass about those things. So I was not going to let her go back to television looking any kind of way. I've never had a jealous bone in my body when it came to Silky. I've never tried to make Silky the butt of any of my jokes. I've never tried to cause harm to this lady. So again, that's what fucked me up when we got to this place that we're in. Because again, I still don't know how the fuck we got here. That's it. It's nothing else to be said. Yes, I sued her. Y'all heard that on Mistress Mondays. I didn't show up to court. Y'all heard why I didn't show up to court. That's why I didn't show up to court, bitch. I didn't even know when the court day was. I can show you the email when I filed the suit. But anybody knows that deal with law or deal with court systems, that takes months. Bitch, we're going into the holidays and all of that. I would do you one even better, bitch. If I had wronged this lady, and I don't want to show y'all her mama's social media name because, yeah, I know how y'all can get. Do y'all see this? This is me reaching out to Silky's biological, the woman that gave her birth, to get an understanding of if maybe she knew what happened between us. Maybe she had some type of clue as to what took place between her child and me. Do you see all of that? Nothing disrespectful. I said, out of respect for respect for your family that I've gained and the love that I gained. I said, even the day that I came and you spoke to me, what did it say? I responded, hey, mama. Does that not say that right there, biggest day? I never went to Silky on any drama, even the day that I went to get my things. I can take accountability that I should have gotten my things sooner. Yes, life had happened. I was dealing with a lot. No, that's not an excuse. But again, me and Silky had been texting. So if it was that big of an issue, she could have said something to me. She just told somebody at the pageant, and if you think I'm lying, I can literally go on my social media right now. And matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all. That she told my best friend from Dallas that her lover at the time, now mind y'all, she said it was another TV there. Then she said that Jayla, she trying to see if Jayla moved it. Then she told my best friend the other day at the pageant, which was today's Friday night, that happened in Houston, that her lover at the time told her, since I hadn't came and got my TV, to throw it away. So why would he tell you to throw away just one television and not the other television, as well as the other items that I had there? I'm just trying to make it make sense. So my thing is, it's been so many stories coming from her in about so many different things. What's the truth? What's the truth? I haven't watched Mistress live. I had no plans on watching Mistress live. So I don't know if she said it on there. But again, we're in the same city and same state. We're on the same show. What's the truth? From the TV to the situation that we're in, from you putting me out, what's the truth? Because I've heard all different kinds of stories. I've heard so many different kinds of stories. So when y'all say that I'm lashing out on social media, that's because I keep hearing stuff. When it's not that hard to just come to me. If I'm the bitch that you have the issue with, what's so hard about coming to me? It's a simple question. I did before I lashed out. This was the reach out to the mama was before I lashed out on social media. I can show you the date, baby. Where the other paper? Because it's more than one. I can show you the date. I did everything. I exhausted all avenues to try to mend a friendship with Silky before the lashing out came. Because again, this was somebody I just knew that in my old age, if I had a man or not, I was going to have her on my side. Without a shadow of a doubt, that was going to be my bitch in my mind. So whatever y'all want to believe after this live, I truly don't care. I've showed y'all the black and white. I've showed y'all the receipts. I don't know what else to show y'all. Y'all see that I've reached out. Y'all see that I've tried to mend the friendship. So as far as y'all saying me going on a show being bitter, what was I bitter about, baby? The friendship was already dead in my mind. What am I bitter about? I ranked her fairly. My lash out was because you bringing this to a show, and not only that, not only are you bringing it to a show, you're now involving bitches like Jasmine Kennedy and stuff in a situation